Change the plastic to yeah so that yeah. जी ऊपर आइए ना हाँ ऊपर जब आएगा ना इस
We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. Let this be a phrase that echoes in all of our minds time and again. A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and all our esteemed guests, and a very warm welcome, everyone, to the final day of this week long World Environment Day celebrations, which has started since 1st June, and it ultimately culminates here today in a grand celebration of music, art, and awards. To start off our program, we would like to welcome our esteemed guests with a lavender sapling. First, we would like to welcome our chief guest of the day, our Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Conrad K. Sangma, with a lavender sapling. We would also like to welcome our Honorable Minister of Forests and Environment, Sri James P.K. Sangma. We would also like to welcome our Madam Chief Secretary, Madam R.V. Suchiang. We would also like to welcome our CEO of MBDA, Sri Sampat Kumar Sir. And we would also like to welcome our esteemed guests and other officials. Now I would like to take this time to invite the CEO of MBDA, Sri Sampat Kumar Sir, to deliver the keynote address and welcome the gathering today.
Good morning to all of you. I'd like to extend warm welcome and greetings to our chief guest of today's function, Shri Conrad Sangmaji, our Honorable Chief Minister of Meghalaya. And I also wanted to extend warm greetings to our Honorable Forest and Environment Minister, Shri James K. Sangma, and Madam Chief Secretary, Madam Chief Secretary Rebecca Ma'am, and also my colleagues who are here, Dr. Subhash Ashutosh, who is the co-chair of Center of Excellence, and also Mr. BDR Tiwari, and the Deputy Commissioner Shillong, Kong Isa, who has been here, and all the officials from various departments, especially the departments concerning environment, forest and environment department officials. The commission secretary is also here, and also the the Soil and Water Conservation Department, which is also playing a very important role. And the MBDA, of course, MBDA, all the external aided project team, a lot of CLLMP, Meghalaya, and other JICA projects. So, and also all the participants who have come from especially from CNRD, SRES, State Rural Employment Society, which has been coordinating a lot of work on natural resource management and climate change. All those VEC members who have been present here, who have come here, and all of you, a very warm welcome to all of you. I just wanted to tell you a few things. This is the place where, in 2018, our Honorable Chief Minister has given a kind of a call for action. Or, I would say that environment is so important for us, especially for a state like us, where because our state is a hilly state and very fragile in terms of the climate change. So we really need to put a lot of attention on protecting the environment and really using this, the nature capital what we have in such a manner that, like, the generations to come can also benefit from. So with this objective, in fact, our Honorable Chief Minister has launched a campaign that one tree, one citizen. This was a kind of a campaign in 2018 we started, and ever since, actually, we have been working all the departments put together. In fact, this year, it is even, the way it has come up, all the departments have come together. Every day is, anchored by one department, one agency, and to really celebrate the importance of conserving the environment. So this is something that we should really feel proud of it. And as I said, from as on this year, during this particular period, we have planted over 2.5 million trees. So this is something that we must celebrate, and this could happen only with the active participation of our people, in rural areas and everywhere. So this, so having said this one, I also wanted to say something that the state, as I said, like this over the last couple of years, we also actually working systematically how to actually bring that capability, state capability, to address the environment related issues, especially the climate change related issues. Towards this direction, one strategy was how actually we can build the human resources. So today we have over 11,000 village community facilitators have been trained. So in all the villages, we have the village community facilitators who have been trained on natural resource management, who have been trained on climate change action, who knows how to use a mobile application and help the communities how to conserve the nature, how to fix the water conservation related issues. So this is a kind of a the capacity has been built. So now we have a environment cadre, I would say, which is there in all the villages, where the community has this information how to fix the problems. And we could see today, we would be hearing from different other community members how they have been changing their villages with the knowledge that they got, the kind of tools that they have received. So this is something to celebrate. And second thing, this is first thing is like building that environment cadre, because this is very important when we have built that social capital, to conserve the nature capital. So that social capital is being built, that to leveraging the youth, the youth that we have, because youth is the future, they are the future. So involving them is a very, very fundamental thing in our developmental activity. So that is being done, one. Number two, we also, I think you'll be very happy to know, today we are going to in fact launch forest management plans. This is again first time a massive exercise has been done in 400 villages, where this entire community and private forests also have been comprehensively mapped, so that the communities would take appropriate measures to protect and preserve those forests. So this exercise, this is a 400 is a big pilot. The idea is that in the years to come, we are going to expand this entire work to all the 6,400 villages what we have. And the third one, which is a very important thing, which was actually launched earlier, but this is giving a very good results. In fact, our Honorable CM has launched in Ganol catchment area. This is payment to ecosystem services. Payment to ecosystem services is again a very unique thing, which the state of Meghalaya feel happy about, doing this one, maybe perhaps for the first time in India, where the communities who have been protecting the environment are going to be, paid for, So this is something, a direct, it's like a kind of a, in fact, involvement of the key people, who are conserving the forest. I think our the Honorable Chief Minister would beautifully explain that we are actually not, with this actually we are not allowing any further destruction of the forest. So this is another important thing that the state government has done. So and the other thing is that, as I said, we under Community and Rural Development Department, we are also forming natural resource management committees, and this is essentially with the mandate that the Rural Employment Guarantee Program will invest 60% of its funds on natural resource management, water conservation, and climate change related activities. That also we are actually going to take off this year, and with the policy has come up, state has bring a lot of policies. So I think with this policy support, with a great strong leadership at a state level and also at a community level, we hope that like we are going to really take forward this environment agenda in a much more concrete way, with a much more greater foundation. So with this few words, I would like to again extend warm welcome to each one of you. I also have seen a lot of students are here. I think I extend a warm welcome to all the students also. Thank you very much, and thank you.
Thank you, sir, for welcoming the gathering with such warm words. And we know that from what we've heard from sir, we can look forward to a greener and brighter Meghalaya. I now invite the gathering to watch a 1-minute clip on what has been done in the past week. We know that the World Environment Week has been celebrated throughout Meghalaya from 1st June, and it ultimately ends today. So without further ado, we shall play the clip of the week-long celebration throughout Meghalaya. I think everyone deserves an applause for that, for a very hearty participation, not only from departments, but from religious institutions, schools, VECs, and communities alike. I would now like to invite our Madam Chief Secretary to kindly address the gathering.
Thank you. Good morning. Shri Conrad K. Sangma, Honorable Chief Minister of Meghalaya. Shri James P. K. Sangma, the Minister of Forest and Environment. Sampath Kumar, who is the CEO of MBDA. Isa Lalu, who is also the DCE of Shillong. Senior officers, members of the various eco clubs from schools and colleges, and my dear village communities who are here with us, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, somebody gave me an article. I read it, and the first sentence of this article reads like this: in a world of uncertainty, one thing is certain, that nature is on a rampage, and it's warning us that enough is enough. So, these kind of things wake you up, to the reality of what it is today. This is clearly evident from the frequency of natural disasters such as unseasonal floods, heat spells, tropical storms, hurricanes, freak weather incidents in Meghalaya itself. Also in the month of May, we had torrential rains, then there were landslides where there were also fatalities. So this is what we are, the situation is, the scenario is. This is Earth's response to the abuse which is meted out to it. And it is a warning to people to reconsider the unsustainability of our lifestyles. I'd like to begin by talking to you a bit about the Stern Review. I'm sure most of you would know what is the Stern Review. It is a 700-page report written by Nicholas Stern, released by the government of UK. The review states that climate change is the greatest and the widest ranging market failure ever seen, presenting a unique challenge for economics. It also prescribes, environmental taxes to minimize economic and social disruptions. Let me also remind you about 3 movies, and I'm sure many of you have seen these movies. One, a very old one, 2006, Inconvenient Truth, I think around 2006. The 11th Hour, and Don't Look Up. Don't Look Up was released last year in 2021. So An Inconvenient Truth is a film about, it's a presentation by the former Vice President of the United States, Shri Al Gore, who delivered more than 1,000 times all over the world his presentations. It makes a compelling case that global climate change is real, it is man-made, and its effect is cataclysmic if we do not respond early. Even in the United States, many are in denial and refuse to accept the truth. When this film was included as part of the school curriculum, it was met with a lot of resistance by parents and by the community. The second movie is The 11th Hour. It documents and addresses the grave problems facing Earth's life system: climate change, deforestation, species extinction, depletion of ocean habitats, and has contributions from over 50 politicians, scientists, environmental activists, including the former Soviet leader, Mikhail Gorbachev, physicist Stephen Hawking, among others, including journalists and a lot of media people. This film calls for restorative action of the planet through technology, social responsibility, and conservation. Now, there's a third movie. I'd seen it, on Netflix. It's called Don't Look Up. It's an allegory for climate change, and the film is a satire of government and people's indifference to the climate crisis. Meryl Streep, who plays the president in the movie, is more concerned about her polling numbers than the destruction of the planet. So the writing on the wall is very clear, the science is very clear, climate change is a reality, yet many of us choose to deny it. and prefer to live in a bubble of blissful ignorance. What I'm trying to say by, giving these examples of these movies and all that is that an early action of climate change will far outweigh the cost of not acting at all. All these examples go to show that all we need to deal with that we need to deal with the causes so that we can limit the extent of the effects of climate change. It requires political will, it requires societal will, it requires technology, and some very hard choices on the way we live our lives. Coming to Meghalaya, in the context of Meghalaya, we've seen that for thousands of years, people in Meghalaya have lived in close harmony with nature. We've seen our conservation efforts of our forefathers, the sacred grove forest, the living root bridges, the traditional forest management practices. These are so in tune with nature. But what we see now in the last few decades, there's been an erosion of these traditional values. And data has shown that our forests are dwindling, though, of course, as statistics would say otherwise. But, our forests are dwindling. Our villages suffer from water scarcity, which is ironic. I mean, you look at the rains, the torrential rains, but we suffer from water scarcity. And all this is compounded by climate change, which pushes, communities, village communities, to further hardships. So I think it's very important that we wake up and do something. And I'm very glad that, I'm here at the last day of the week-long celebration and of the World Environment Day. And we've seen how people can come together with conviction collectively and fight for a common cause. So this is what we all need to do as villages, as community living in this planet, that we should fight together to preserve our planet Earth. There's only one Earth, like they said in the banner here. So what we should do is we should then commit to revive our forests, revive our rivers, revive our waters, revive our streams, our lakes, and bring them back to the grandeur that the Lord God made them all. So with these very few words, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share a few thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam, for enlightening us on the climate crisis. We all know we love watching movies, but how many of us really live it? As we heard our CEO MBDA mentioning earlier that forest management plans have been prepared. It has been a massive study done over a short span of time. And now to officially launch the forest management plans here today, I would like to welcome our Honorable Chief Minister and our Honorable Minister of Forest and Environment, our respected Madam Chief Secretary, our CEO MBDA, and also our Director and Co-Chairman of Center of Excellence to kindly come up to the stage to officially launch the forest management plans. Sir. The forest management plans, as we know, in Meghalaya, over 90% of the forests in the state are under the ownership of communities, clans, and individuals, except a few. Most of these forests are not being scientifically managed under any management plan. There is no basic data about these forests. Under the CLAMP project, the forest management plans for all the 400 CLAMP villages have been prepared by the Center of Excellence. This is the first time that the forest management plans have been prepared. So this is the official launch of the forest management plans prepared so far for 50 villages, overlooked by 1,200 youths from 400 villages. It has been imparted training in using equipments like GPS, prismatic compass, and Abney's level for taking different measurements on the sample plots. So these are your forest management plans prepared today for 50 villages. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. We said that after a week-long celebration of plantation, of various activities undertaken to protect our environment, today is the grand celebration of music, arts, and awards. In the beginning, I said, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. The theme for this year's World Environment Day song and video, developed by the Meghalaya Basin Management Agency, borrows directly from this Native American proverb. It is called For Those Who Come After and places children at the center of the discourse on climate change for the simple reason that it is their future that is at stake, and hence it is their point of view that the music and lyrics of the video must be rooted in. We have seen in the past few years how the most dynamic campaigns on environment have been led by the youth, and it is in their bravery at asking direct and uncomfortable questions, their act of creating solidarities, and in the awakening of their social consciousness that the song derives its greatest inspiration from. This song is sung in Khasi, Jaintia, and Garo, and musically it harks back to the simple but evocative rhythm of rock music, one that evokes the urge to sing along, to tap your feet, and be a part of a shared experience, a community. Ladies and gentlemen, to launch the World Environment Day song 2022 officially, I would like to invite our Honorable Chief Minister to the computer that is prepared in front. Sir, with the click of a finger, we shall all witness the launch of the Environment Day song 2022.
Ki samla ya ka sorgen pen sawa in kdo ya ki jing ma ya ki jing sha sha ka la tlio lot ka me chong me ram ong la do lot ya ka spa ba don hop bo kan do ka pya ya ki jing ma.
Excuse us for the technical glitches. It's okay. We will be fixing it. We seem to be having technical glitches. while we fix our technical glitches. We shall move on to the next program, which is also a launch of the NRM mascots. However, due to it being linked to the same technical error, I would like to invite our Minister, Honorable Minister of Forest and Environment, Shri James P.K. Sangma, to address the gathering today.
Our Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. Conrad K. Sangma, the chief guest of today's program, our respected Chief Secretary, Government of Meghalaya, Conrad Suchiang, our CEO of the MBDA, Mr. Sampath Kumar, other officers of the government, the school eco clubs that are participating here today, members of different organizations, the press fraternity, and also many friends who have come from far reaches of our state today to be part of this program. A very good morning to everyone present here today. I am indeed really honored to be part of this program, and I feel extremely proud this morning because today, under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, what we are looking at in our state is something which many people may not have realized, but I want to place this on record here, that for many, many long years, we've had celebrations marking World Environment Day, which would be a one-day program. A program marked with tokenism, with a lot of sloganism, with tree plantations. But what we are looking at today is something very remarkable when it comes to the environment, when it comes to protecting it and conserving it, is that there is this move away from tokenism, sloganism, which we've been seeing through many, many years, and the action has started. The first point I would like to mention here is that this is not a one-day program where we are celebrating our planet, Mother Earth or Mother Nature, but this is a week-long program. And really, I'm so thankful to your Honorable Chief Minister by giving it that kind of importance of having a week-long program. It goes to show how much this government places environment, how much importance this government places in environment and this issue of climate change. So this is something that I would like to first start off by placing my thanks to Honorable Chief Minister for taking this initiative and for starting this move away from tokenism. We've also seen that it's not just a one-week celebration that's taken place. We've also seen that there has been action on the ground. There have been two launches taking place here today. One is the launch of the forest management plans, and the other one is the report that we just released. Apart from that, there have been so many activities that took place over the week. We saw a short video clip of those activities. The seed bombing. So this is something that came under a head or category by the name of disruptive technologies. And it is very interesting to note how technology is being adapted or is being used towards nature and the protection and conservation of our planet, our environment. And seed bombing is not something that's new. It's a very, very old technique, in fact, which dates back to the Egyptian civilization. But today, the usage of drones to disperse these seed bombs is, I think, a marriage of technology with conservation efforts. And I think it's really something that's amazing. The seed bomb dispersal through drones is going to enable the government to reach areas which are difficult to reach sometimes. And it also cuts down on a lot of time. It's a very, very simple technology, but very effective one. We also had the launch of the GIS-based natural resource management plans, which is, I think, going to be a game changer. Because for us, unless we have a map, unless we know where we stand, we can't have planning for the future. So this GIS-based NRM mapping is, I think, going to play a very, very important role when it comes to strategizing for the future, how we want to take our conservation efforts. I'm also very happy to inform all of you today that we are going for nature-based solutions. Forest Department today has come up with phycoremediation that we are implementing in our rivers. Again, phycoremediation is not something that's new. All of us know about it, but just to inform those who may not, this is a technology wherein we use nature to solve nature's problems. We have this huge problem of acid mine drainage in our rivers. And to counter that, or to make sure that these rivers are rejuvenated, we are using algae, which is a very, very humble organism found in Mother Nature, to correct the pH balance, to correct the pH levels, and to bring balance in these rivers. So we had a pilot phase where River Luca was taken up, a small stretch of it. And when we launched this, we were very, very apprehensive. Will it work? Will it not work? But then this is something that I'm so happy that the project, the pilot project at River Luca worked marvelously. And today we've scaled it up to take 2 more rivers in East Jaintia Hills. This is again a bio solution wherein we are using nature to combat nature's problems. Then we've also had, under the MEPRF fund, the reclamation of mine-affected areas. I think this is also something that is really wonderful because many of these areas, the soil has become so acidic that any kind of afforestation activities would face a challenge. So the IRM, that's the Institute of, INR, the Institute of Natural Resource Management, I think, that institute has come up with the planting of citronella plants in mine-affected areas. And citronella, it improves the pH balance of the mine-affected areas by reducing the acidity of the soil. And also, eventually, it will create biomass, which will make that place suitable for agriculture or for afforestation activities in the future. Then there's so many other innovations and interventions that we have brought about during this week-long program of World Environment Week. And that is why I say that we are moving away. And I think actions speak louder than words. And this is exactly what, under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, that we are finally seeing action on the ground. We all know that The IPCC in its report in 2022 has raised a red flag when it comes to climate change. We are really, hurtling towards a very dystopian reality, if one may call it. And this is something that, as our respected Chief Secretary had mentioned, it's very alarming. And I'm happy that today the awareness has come about that people don't dismiss climate change as a myth, as something that is not tangible, it is not visible, so therefore it does not exist. I'm happy that today people have found that kind of acceptability that climate change is a reality, IPCC report notwithstanding. It is something that we must all come together and battle. But when we start out to look at how we can counter climate change, global warming, we come to this paradox. And this paradox is something that it's not just us, government of Meghalaya faces. It is all governments across the world. They are all facing this. And this paradox is we need to have economic growth. We need to have industrial growth. We need to make sure that people find employment. But that comes at a cost. And that cost is sometimes the environment. Or rather, I should say, all the time, it is at the cost of the environment. So this is a paradox which is being faced not just by us, by people all across the world. So this got us thinking, can we find a middle path to all this? And therefore, we as a state started to prototype a new paradigm. And this paradigm is something that I would like to call the environment state. This is something where we as a state, as a people, as a government, as a nation, can find a fine balance between growth and protection and conservation of the environment. How do we do this? I think one example of that is what our respected CEO of the MBD had just mentioned about, the payment for eco services. I think that is one small example of how we can bring about an environment state. And this payment for ecosystems, eco-services, is something that is, again, to use the same word, a game changer. And I believe that with interventions and innovations like the PES, we can really bring about a balance. So the environment state, as I was talking about, is much larger than the payment for eco-services. It involves something wherein we say that nature comes first. We move away from a GDP-based economy to a nature-based economy. And it's possible. It's possible because today everything that we have in today's economic world is something that we have extracted out of Mother Nature. Mining, be it the seats that we are sitting on, the plastics that we use, the cars that we drive in, everything has been taken from nature. And therein, I think, lies the possibility for us to have a nature-first economy wherein we start recognizing the kind of value that is there for nature, and we start in one way the payment for eco services that has been come about, but in a larger scale for everything. And this is something that we are prototyping. It's in the nascent stage. It is something that we are working on, and I hope that one day we will be able to have a full-fledged document which we can share with the rest of the world. But this is something that Meghalaya as a state is coming about and trying to do. Again, I'm so happy that there are many school children, the school eco clubs that are participating today. And what I wanted to say today to all our school children is that I know climate change, global warming, other climate jargon like carbon sequestration, all these are such technical terms that often our children don't really comprehend or understand the dangers that lurk behind these words. And that's why we as a government, we have started to go and, to the root. And we see that one way of battling climate change is to go to the young population, to our youth, to our school children. And I'm very happy to inform everyone today that we have initiated a collaboration with the education department of our state. And we are working on how we can bring climate change as a part of school curriculum in the state of Meghalaya. Presently, we have something called environmental sciences, but not that it's redundant, but today climate change is far more overarching than environmental science subject. It is not just far more overarching, it is also extremely relevant and important for our children to know. Because as the host of the program was mentioning, a Native American saying, that we're just the caretakers. It is our children who will inherit this planet. And that's why it's very important that our children know where they stand and how things are moving and how things will be in the future. And the power lies in them, or rather with them. So therefore, we are introducing or we are working on collaborating with the education department on bringing climate change as part of our school curriculum. Now, I don't want to delve too much into all our interventions, but because our Honorable Chief Minister will be speaking at length about other things as well. But before I conclude, I just wanted to share today that when I got up in the morning, I got down on my knees on my bedside, and when I offered my prayers, I said a prayer of thanksgiving and I said a prayer of intercession. Thanksgiving, why? Because today we are indeed truly blessed. Meghalaya is a region, a state, which is so rich in its biodiversity, so rich in its natural capital, which Mr. Sampath Kumar was mentioning about. We have so much wealth in terms of our forests, in terms of the clean air that we breathe, the clean water that we drink, in terms of all the natural capital. And for this, we must truly thank Almighty God that we have been blessed with all this. Intercession, why? Because today we need the intercession of Almighty God so that God may give each and every citizen of our state the kind of strength, because it requires a lot of courage and strength to move ahead when it comes to protecting our environment, and strength to take necessary action, and also to give the knowledge to everyone about how important climate change and our environment is right now, and that how important it is that we act now. Otherwise, we will not be able to meet with the targets set in the Paris Accord, wherein everyone is trying to ensure that we restrict global temperatures from rising beyond 2 degrees. That is something that everyone is fighting for and striving towards, but it's easier said than done. It's something that every climate scientist is going to tell you that we have already crossed the point of no return. But I'm an optimist. And I believe that uh, the intercession of God is so important. I pray for this every day, not just today when I got up in the morning, but every day. And today I pray that God continues to bless our state and its people and to give all of us the strength to battle these challenges which are going to come about in the future. I don't want to take much time here. I'm very thankful to the government, to our Honorable Chief Minister for this week-long celebration, for all the interventions through the MBADA that the government is adopting. Uh, I'm extremely confident that all these interventions will bear fruit. But for this, we need the support and the collaboration of our people, be it the traditional heads, be it our people down in the villages, be it our school children, the youth in the colleges, students, everybody. We need everyone's support. The government has put in a roadmap, but nothing will be successful unless we get the support of each and every citizen of our state. So I don't want to take much time. Thank you so much once again. God bless our state of Meghalaya, and God bless each and every one of you. Kublai Shibun, Patela, Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful and encouraging words. And I must say now that what we had earlier planned, the launch, is ready. And sir, just a request that now you will be having 3 consecutive launches. First, we will be launching the Environment Day song, which is ready. So we will then, yes, sir, we will play the music video, after which, sir, you'll be launching the NRM mascots again, following which we will be launching the community nurseries as well. So ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Environment Day song of 2022.
Kun ki sống lo ya ka so ngin pen so wa in ka do ya ki jing ma ya ki jing sha sha ka la liu lo ka me trong me rom o la do lo ya ka spa ba don hop bo kan do ber ka pya ya ki jing ma ba te so dong ya ki kin na sam la ki la we lo ki ka ki lo ki ma lo ki la chi rom sao ba ni ro lai ki la chi shai o ni ba tu yen ma ya ki la sha du sam le yes yang wa ki ya la ha ba ni ba ki jing ma ka ki me ki pa so ni yo le ka ma yo le ka yang ya ka lo e la trong do ge nya shin yang China, singon naman aso. Sige yang ingon gumrang, ayang ganjin ko seke kamato. Sigo ng kahit Masibo ang lalayong sinakso Bahag ang mga tasuwa na wang iyong kaganda O huwag magtatsak ang bati ko Kasayo ako Kaya wati kalahamani Bakit kiting bakit milig pazami Yolan kaman, yolan kanyang Kakalaway la jong togeng ya simbyang Kaya wati kalahamani Bakit kiting bakit milig pazami Yolan kaman, yolan Jauh sani ba tuan pe itu ye rong yong kawa luka ki wen ki klo ki wen ki mo kamon ulen naka so ki wen ki klo ki wen ki mo kamon ulen naka so ki wen ki klo ki wen ki mo Love me, God, love me, God, don't disturb us, go, are you going come in at all? Yes, you're my team, God, I'm but it is what I make it part of me. You're like, come on, you're like, you're don't come in, yes, you're young. Yes, you're my team, God, but it is what I make it part of me. You're like, come on, you're like, don't come in, yes, you're young.
A very nicely done Environment Day song. All credit goes to Miss Viviani Sayo, the director of this music video, the creative director as well. A round of applause for her. We will now be launching the NRM mascots. A little read up on who they are. They are a father-daughter duo who have been very active in the past few months. And they have been raising awareness about the plight of the environment and how CLEMP, or the Community-Led Landscape Management Project, along with various village partners, have been engaged in different types of conservation work. Sir, to formally launch the NRM mascots, which we will be seeing more of in the future, I would like to welcome you once again. With the click of your finger, we shall be watching our beloved Mai Mai and her sweet father, Pakla.
Ani papa, pi ong bapenya lam yang asal kerja ba itanan, tang bahangi dan tak kimau.
Koi king kun, apa mengadang red kat thi kani ka jaka ka sit don polio, but bun ki ding ki sedo.
Si Ayla jak kita dapat. Kumitam best papa. Ngakwa
Sei si sa ja ki to baro.
Paralog, pitip na magajing pong pathar yaki diyang kisit kakta yakajing pahu Kamtam yaki polio bat ki sing yar. Ki diyang kikijit yaka slap bat ki penrung yaka syapo kakendo. Kajing duna jung ki klaw ki bitap kakta yaki tulong bat kani pat kakta kiliang yaka lang salang.
Kadi papa ba ong ini ba? Tiba, inli aku ngawan pen embiang yaki polio jengi.
Kibun kilat kilenti. Kawai naki kadai kajing tray jong Community-Led Landscape Management Project kabla tray ban penek pensa yang telong Menta saus pa atali kisnong kila tray lang bat klem bat haparo kini kijaka ki kam penek mariang kila yat syakmat. Kawai na kini ki kam kadai lingba ka afforestation kinong snong kila tray swat ban ti bat thung ye kideng ba pher saudong ki telong bat menta lingba kajing tray shitom jong ka klem usok jong jing job ulas dang ban mi. Te filay snow, ko para, ko heb. Iway pa iway nangingi don lakabor ban le ay ban yarap yakamay mariang. Sedang no dagabatung din menta kasngi. Kublay baro.
Of course, the animation of Mai Mai and Papa will be done in all of our languages throughout the state. And we hope that through animations, cartoons, and such interactive entertainment sources, our children will be encouraged to work more towards a greener Meghalaya. So now we will come to the launching of the Community Nursery Information System. Before we launch it officially, what is the Community Nursery Information System? It is an online nursery information system where, apart from the 400 community nurseries that have been created under CLEM, you will have access to various seedlings, saplings, where it is available, the amount of its availability with the click of your fingers from any location, even saplings and seedlings from various departments of forest, soil, etc., agriculture, which can be accessed by anyone through this community nursery information system. So I welcome you once again to launch the officially launch the community nursery information system, or the CNIS for short. This is what the interface looks like. You will have names of the nodal person whom to reach out to if you do want to purchase seedlings or saplings, and where are the availabilities of these various saplings. So this is the community nursery information system that has been created under CLEM. We do enjoy our entertainment, and I believe the best way to engage anyone is through music, arts, and food. So right now, I would like to welcome on stage Khmer Creative Society, which is a registered based society in Meghalaya, formed in 2011. The motto of the group is nurturing talents, skills, and creativity. Today, they will be presenting us with the song May Mariang, which centers around saving Mother Earth because she is the only home that we have. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Khmer Creative Society.
Quên nụ hai ba hai con dòng bên lá tem ăn rem ông. Quên nụ hai ba hai con dòng bên lá tem ăn rem ông. Quên nụ hai ba hai con dòng bên lá tem ăn rem ông. Con a chu thi bên trong ni siêu bên đó các khá các phân nhai ta cha lạc lại cơn mơ yes sumari jai po bud บะให้กงยงเป็นลาแต่มันแรมองในมาเรียงกาอังกันโอยายคนอาจุที่ปัญจักนิสยมเป็นโอกะคากะปนยายตั้งกะละไตรองค์เป็นโลและเยสะสมาเรจัยโตอุดังเป็นรีมายังคนยาลามายังคนยาลาเอ้ยมายังต้องยาสมัยมายังเอ้ยมายังต้องยาสมัยมายัง Jompi daki surbakyang Yes, sumare kodam menteri Yes, sumare kodam menteri Kakak kapun yakin kita long balay pun sumarhaba hidang habi kapon yakin at itlong umponi balay pun sumarhaba hidang habi keno kuba bukong ban sen sniu te pi onnang keno kuba bukong ban ben sniu te pi onnang keno kuba bukong ban ben sniu te pi onnang May Mariam
So that is a great life lesson to be learned there. What do we do when we are faced with difficulties? We come back stronger. Great going, Khmer Creative Society. I hope everyone enjoyed that mind-blowing performance by Khmer Creative Society. Now we move on to the launch of the Natural Resource Management Committee. And to officially launch this committee and to walk us through what the committee is about, I would like to invite the Joint Mission Director of State Rural Employment Society, Kong Yarapun, to kindly address the gathering.
The Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, a central flagship program, has been implemented in the state since 2006. In the absence of the Panchayati Raj institution, the state framed a different policy by adopting the existing traditional institution with the involvement of the women of the community and entrusting them with similar roles and responsibilities as detailed for the PRIs. Drawing its authority from the MGNREG Act, the state notified the Meghalaya Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme 2006, wherein one of the key components is the formation of the village employment councils at the village level, which are vested with the responsibility of implementing the program. From 2016-17 till 2018-19, there were continuous tours to the then 39 and now 46 CNRD blocks of the state, led by the Principal Secretary CNRD Department, the Mission Director SRES, along with the SRES team. During these tours, there were constant dialogue, communication, nudging, encouraging, and even pushing the community to venture towards natural resource management. The launch of the Jal Shakti Abhiyan in 2019 saw a massive increase in the NRM works taken up, and the participatory rural appraisal conducted at that time painted the actual picture that, yes, our villages are facing water scarcity. All these culminated in a decision being taken to form the Natural Resource Management Subcommittee in all the 6,300 plus VECs among the other committees that are being formed. The governing body of the SRES, headed by the Chief Secretary, the State Employment Guarantee Council of MGNREGA, chaired by the Honorable Minister CNRD, agreed to the proposal, which was finally approved by the State Cabinet, headed by the Honorable Chief Minister, on the 14th of December 2021, and finally notified on the 18th of January 2021. We invite you to a glimpse of our journey made so far as the VECs, the officials at different levels, and all the stakeholders with one accord towards integrated natural resource management, towards a better future. I invite our Honorable Chief Guest, the Chief Minister of Meghalaya, to kindly launch the NRM subcommittee of the VEC.
With 80% of its population being predominantly rural, Meghalaya's life and soul lies in its villages. In spite of being blessed with abundant rainfall, cascading waterfalls, and seasonal water bodies, it remains one of the driest states in the country. Agriculture and livelihoods continue to be rainfall dependent. Already one of the largest employment programs in human history till date, the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act aims to enhance livelihood security through waged employment and creating durable assets through active community participation.
Port Mansua, họ chỉ lồng bạc trong PC ring don ni ka stock ka biang makata ga chem ti sibon ni ki na stang ban ini ban penbiang kilong yang ni
jing ki ba ni shem ha ka ba ya dei bat kani ka jing man rai kani ka jing tuna kalong ka ba ki thang ye ki ding ki se Mansua
poi rak na ji lồng ba ki ki wa ki dang bon ki khau tap ki dang jangam ki dang bon ki jing si trên đây ini kita mentai lomba labon ki jing si jing la terkhong da ki ru la duna
Mansua korba 4 poi kan ka pa dia se ni hapit da ka kli ni hab lek tong se jengai sha hasia du ko pung ru ni hab lek tong
With 60% of expenditure to be made towards natural resource management and water-related works, statewide visits by the then Commissioner and Secretary CNRD culminated in actionable plans of VECs, which involved rainwater harvesting, check dams, spring shed rejuvenation, traditional water bodies, and intensive afforestation.
ta lomba ya yo ini skim spasi thì ya yo ini bat ni ba ta ya stang berpelang ki jadi bagi kalau tak jadi mentai la stang berjangam biang kum ki tu por Kalau yang nak sispa dari katukan ni kita long.
Kan imba ka jingyo ka water harvesting ne markani kan sawara jumto ye sibun ki kinong snong jongi
Tentang pasang iba kini log jua jung iba pasang itu gidiang. Hang ba ka kawa kan long kawa tak yang tak rasa sisi.
The State Rural Employment Society, which is the nodal implementing agency of the Mahatma Gandhi NREGA in Meghalaya, now continues to focus more intensively on natural resource management to provide advice, reprioritize the shelf of works of the traditionally grounded village employment councils, and oversee the implementation of the program through capacity building and empowering natural resource management committees. This can only be done in congruence with the community who themselves are the asset enablers and asset holders. Realizing the importance of natural resource management and conserving various resources, and after having conducted massive awareness to the VEC, the state went forward with a policy note on the formation of the Natural Resource Management Committee within the VC. The Honorable Minister CNRD, the governing body of the SRES, agreed to the policy, which was subsequently approved by the State Cabinet and notified on 18th January 2022.
Many things for us to look forward to as a state. Now, another art that is one of a kind for the first time here in Meghalaya, here to enthrall us all with an art that tells stories, and like I said, the first of its kind in Meghalaya, I welcome the first sand artist of our state, Shri Shabong, to present his work and tell us his story on the environment to the gathering today. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Kunmalang. It's one of a kind art and it's a powerful reminder for all of us. And I think we thoroughly enjoyed watching the art take its shape. Now we come to one of the highlights of today's program, the presentation of the NRM Awards. These awards are of three types: the district awards, the special category awards, and the state awards. All these have been adjudged on the performances of every village based on the natural resource management work. We will be presenting the awards in this order. We will be presenting the district awards first. Then we will move on to the special awards, the special category awards, and finally, we will be awarding the state NRM award. I would request the recipients to kindly be in line. To start off and confer our district awards, I would like to welcome our CEO of MBDA, sir, if you could kindly come up on stage, sir, to give away the first 6 prizes for the district level awards, sir. These villages are the best performing villages in every district according to their respective districts in natural resource management work. First, from Ribhoi district, please give a round of applause to Mokodap village. Mokodap village takes away the best district award from Ribhoi district. Then we have from Southwest Khasi Hills, Umpung village. From Southwest Khasi Hills, Umpung village. From Southwest Khasi Hills, we have Umpung village. From East Jaintia Hills, we have Mulamilyang village. From East Jaintia Hills, we have Mulamilyang village. East Khasi Hills, kindly get ready. From East Khasi Hills, we have Mauteba. From East Khasi Hills, we have Mauteba. Then from West Khasi Hills, we have Nong Pendeng. From West Khasi Hills, we have Nong Pendeng. From Eastern West Khasi Hills, we have Markasa Village. From Eastern West Khasi Hills, we have Markasa Village. From Eastern West Khasi Hills, we have Markasa Village. Eastern West Khasi Hills, Markasa Village. Thank you, sir, for giving away the first 6 district awardees. Thank you very much, sir. I would now like to welcome our Madam Chief Secretary to kindly confer the next 6 district awardees. Every district awardee is being awarded a prize of 3 lakh rupees. Our next district award winner is from West Jaintia Hills, that is Mushrut Village. Mushrut Village from West Jaintia Hills. From Southwest Garo Hills, Chenkurigri. From Southwest Garo Hills, Chenkurigri. From West Garo Hills, Kongtokpara. From West Garo Hills, Kongtokpara. From North Garo Hills, Rongopgre. From North Garo Hills, Rongopgre. From North Garo Hills, Rongopgre. This is Kongtokpara from West Garo Hills. Ma'am, she's the next one. And then from North Garo Hills, Rongopgre. From North Garo Hills, Rongopgre. From East Garo Hills, Nengmandalgre. From East Garo Hills, Nengmandalgre. And finally, from South Garo Hills, Bilkona. From South Garo Hills, Bilkona. These are our 12 district level winners. They are awarded an amount of rupees 3 lakhs. They are the best performing villages in their respective districts in regards to natural resource management activities. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for conferring the awardees, the district level awards. We now move on to the special category awards. These have been specially selected by departments and our panel of judges for showing exemplary increase in net forest cover as well as excellence in community initiative in NRM. To confer these awards to our special awardees, I would like to call upon the Honorable Minister of Forest and Environment, Sir James P.K. Sangma, to kindly give away the awards. First, the best village for net increase in forest cover in the last 10 years. We have Erungre Village from South Garo Hills. Erungre Village from South Garo Hills. Since its resolution in 1985 to take up conservation work to restore the ecosystem, the village of Erungre has seen a steady increase in forest cover. An annual general meeting is held every year to amend the rules for conservation of natural works, and the neighboring villages are also encouraged to take up conservation activities. Another village receiving the special award for best village for net increase in forest cover in the last 10 years is Nrm. This is also from South Garo Hills, Nrm Gray. Let's give a huge round of applause. The community of Nrm Gray stands out for collectively undertaking conservation work through clans, traditional village institutions, and individuals without any or very less departmental involvement. This is Nrm Gray. And for showing excellence in community initiative in natural resource management, we have the Sirwet Ubarim Mariang Jinkingri Cooperative Federation Limited. For excellence in community initiative in NRM, we have the Sirwet Ubarim Mariang Jinkingri Cooperative Federation Limited. Jinkingri, or the living root bridge as we know, is an example of how nature and humankind can live harmoniously in nature. Jinkingri is contributing towards UNESCO World Heritage Site nominations as well. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for conferring these awards. These special awards walk away each with rupees 5 lakhs. Now we come to the state NRM Awards, where we have adjudged the best village from the entire state. And to confer these awards, I would like to call our Honorable Chief Minister, sir, to kindly give away the awards. Category 1 goes to the best village on water conservation activities, and the village of Langsimput walks away with this award. The village of Langsimput from East Khasi Hills. Langsimput village has undertaken several water conservation activities, both in the community-led and department-led, which is activities such as plantation around catchment areas, and incorporation of rooftop rainwater harvesting for all PMAY beneficiaries has been one of the innovative ways of undertaking water conservation activities. Under category 2, we have best village on land reclamation activities, which goes to Minska village. Best village on land reclamation activities goes to Minska village, who, despite seeing rapid soil degradation, has taken up their own initiative to rejuvenate the land and the soil around them. The best village on land reclamation activities goes to Minska village. And the best village on biodiversity conservation activities goes to Umpung village. Best village on biodiversity conservation activities goes to Umpung village, who have undertaken conservation activities like building a sanctuary for the almost extinct hill miners and also saving the various aquatic life in Umngi River. Next, we have the best village on sustainable livelihood activities based on natural resource management activities. This goes to Maukodep village from Ribhoi district. Maukodep village has shown the greatest increase in number of livelihood activities based on natural resource management, such as apiculture, organic farming, to name a few. And the most notable feature of increase in livelihood is the engagement of women and increase in their livelihood. Then we have category 5, which is best village in natural resource management activities under Manrega. The VEC that receives this award is the Napak Adokkatam BEC from East Garo Hills. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Napak Adokkatam BEC. They have undertaken the restoration of Tasek Lake through desiltation, earthen embankment works, and this restoration has seen the increase in indigenous fish species, migratory birds, and soft-shelled turtles. And finally, we have the best village in natural resource management in general as a whole, and the recipient of this award is Mushrut village. Mushrut village. This is in West Jaintia Hills, and they have seen a number of natural resource management works implemented by several departments, and the community as a whole has also undertaken natural resource management work. Each of the state category level winners takes away 5 lakhs rupees as award prizes today. Thank you very much, sir. I would now like to invite sir to kindly address the gathering. Thank you.
Respected Honorable Minister for Forest and Environment, our respected Chief Secretary, our CEO of MBMA, our other officials from the Forest and Environment Department and Soil Conservation Department, our Deputy Commissioner, our officials who are present out here, and the different members from the different VECs who have received the award today, and all my dear friends who have gathered here to celebrate and to mark the closing of the World Environment Week 2022. Friends, in 2018, when we had just taken over the government, we made a very important, I should say, shift in the thought process of how we should work as a government and how we should move forward. And though the schemes and different programs that were being implemented were the same, it is this simple thought process that actually changed the way we looked at things. And the simple thought process that we had changed was to look at an issue or an objective as a mission, rather than looking at a program of a department as a scheme. Now, this might sound very simple to you, but it is very, very deep in its meaning. And the reason I say that is because for many years, most of the state governments and different governments throughout the country have really been working and focusing on a scheme-based approach. And by that, I mean that targets are given to officials, targets are given to departments to complete a certain scheme, submit the utilization certificate. And that is how the entire assessment or performance of a department or official was assessed. And what we started doing was, we started saying that that is not going to work. And it has not worked, or rather it has not given the desired results in the many past years. And therefore, we started looking at things from a mission mode. What is the objective of implementing this scheme? And not just implementing the scheme. What is the end benefit and the result that we want? Who are the people who should benefit? And what is it that we're trying to achieve? When you ask these simple questions to yourself and as a department, you suddenly realize that maybe the things that you were doing and the actions that you were trying to work on were not giving you the desired goals and results that you were looking at. And I use this very simple example every time I explain this point, is if you ask irrigation department about how they implement their projects, they will tell you that we assess it on the basis of the number of kilometers or meters of canals that we have created. But actually, they should be assessing their performance on the basis of the increase in the agriculture output that has led because of the canals that have been built. So is the canal implementation the objective of the department? Or is it the increase in the production of the farmers and the agriculture product the objective of the department? And this thought process is what has led us to really change the way we look at things. And you see it in everything. When you talk of natural resource management, when you talk of health and youth policy, mother's health, child's health, you look at all these areas and you realize that they are all connected. When we talk of NRM, which is Natural Resource Management, it's not just the Soil Conservation Department that needs to look at it. It's not about planting trees. It's not, or I should say, it's not just about planting trees. It's not just about creating the reservoir. It's not just about having the catchment area protected. It's about ensuring that the natural resource we have is managed in a better manner so that it becomes sustainable and economically viable in the long run. And that is the larger picture and the goal with which we work with. And it is important for us to realize that, but because without that, we would be missing the picture, I should say. Similarly, when you talk of youth policy, you talk of the health of the mother, you talk of the health of the child, you talk of the different programs in the health department. If you look at it, they're all connected. Now, we as a government, we focus on maternal mortality rate. We link it to institutional deliveries. And we feel that if institutional deliveries go up, the mortality rate will go down. And we don't realize that that's just one factor that leads to the result. It has multiple aspects attached to the health of the mother, which then further links up to the health of the child, the spacing within the birth of the children, the high-risk mothers that are there, the anemic status of the mothers. All these aspects lead to the ultimate goal of saving the mother's life, which ultimately leads to having healthier children, which ultimately leads to having a more productive society. So what I'm trying to say is, as a government and as departments, we need to realize that we are working towards an objective. We are working towards a goal. And everything that you do, everything that every department does, adds to that goal and to that objective. Unless we don't realize that and we don't see it, we are missing the big picture and we are losing track of what we are doing. And that's the reason why in 2018, when we started working towards natural resource management, we mentioned one very clear thing, that it's not just about planting trees, it's an entire process which will require multiple aspects. And as was mentioned by the Honorable Forest Minister, it's not about just planting a tree today. That's just a token or one step towards showing our participation. It's much bigger than that. There are many, many more things to be done. And that's why when we started in 2018, when we talked of natural resource management, we realized that we need to have a policy for water. Because without that, the entire process would be not connected. So we started with the water policy. Then we realized that the state budget and funds are not enough for us to be able to fund the different projects that we want. So we started moving aggressively on different externally aided projects. I'm happy to inform you that while I'm standing here and speaking, we have close to 4,700 crores worth of externally aided projects that are being spent on natural resource management. You don't realize it, but that's the kind of money that this government has mobilized and is spending on natural resource management. We started connecting different departments to each other. Soil conservation needs to talk to forest department, which needs to talk to water resources, which needs to talk to PHE, and all of them need to be connected with some agency and some sort of funding. So we started making the different departments talk to each other. We realized that just department handling it is not enough. We need the community to be part of it. And that's why you saw this wonderful program where we're having the natural resource management committees at the village level, at the 6,500 plus villages that we have, so that the entire effort of the government, the plan that we have, can then trickle down to the grassroots level, be connected with the different programs that are being implemented, so that ultimately we are able to achieve the big picture. And while we moved forward, we realized that we need to have innovation and technology into the system. And that's why today, whether it's the process of delivering through drones and sprinkling seeds through drones, or in fact a very innovative program called the Payment for Ecosystem Services, is another example of innovation. Innovation is not just technology. Innovation is even in terms of our service, in terms of our process. So therefore, the process innovation of PES is something that is really something that's amazing. And as our principal secretary was mentioning, we wait for the forest to be degraded. We wait for the forest to be cut. And obviously in the process, we are losing many years. And obviously we are affecting the environment. And after all that is done, then we step in and we come into the picture, and then we say, oh, let's now start to, redo the whole thing and start to invest in afforestation and start to do these different programs, which cost hundreds of crores. So the idea is very simple. Just stop the destruction. And the amount that you're going to pay for the afforestation, which is going to be after the destruction has taken place, just take that money and give it in advance to the people who are going to destroy or who were going to affect the forest. So it's simply saving time and money and effort and spending maybe even lesser amount to ensure that we are able to protect the forest. So this money will be given to the landowners, to the community, to the people who will be volunteers to ensure that the forest is protected. And that's what payment of ecosystem services is. And I would just want to inform you that this is the largest form of this program in the whole country today. No other state has taken up the program in such large scale as Meghalaya has done. And I'm sure that as the Honorable Minister for Forest and Environment has mentioned, that this is going to show the way for many other states and regions. And this, I feel very strongly, is the best way to ensure that we're able to protect our environment, which is payment of ecosystem services, which should be done before the forest is degraded so that we can actually stop the entire process of deforestation. Apart from that, I know this today's program, I'm really very, very excited to see the kind of technology that has been used, the kind of animation that's being used, the way the youth are being motivated today to be a part of this entire process. Because let me tell you, nothing will work if the community is not involved. Nothing will work if the youth are not involved. And the youth have the largest stake in this because it's your future. And we are here to work with you to ensure that we are all able to protect it and make it even better. So that's really what we are all here for. And therefore, I was very happy to see the kind of work that has been done by the different departments here today, and the use of media, technology, and animation that has taken place. Apart from that, I would also like to just stress on a few very, very small things that I would like to share with all of you, which is regarding the entire way forward. And I think it is absolutely necessary for us to decide on a few things. And, I keep telling people that whenever we speak, whenever you speak, and whenever you criticize, a lot of people say, why isn't the government doing this? Why couldn't they do this? Why couldn't they ban this? Why can't they make this compulsory? Yes, I think it's important to express the concerns that all of you have. But I think what is more important is, while we look at what the government and the organization and the officials are doing and push them to do more, we should also look at what you can do as a citizen. And that's, I think, the most important point of having this 1 week program. What can you do? It's not about what should be done, but it's more about what will be done, what can be done, what I will do. And I think that's really important. And even as a government, I strongly feel that we should move in that direction. Now, I saw that wonderful presentation where we were talking about 60% of our MG and REGA being spent on natural resource management. Now, can we take a decision, move forward, and the MG and REGA, the CNRD department, can make a plan for the next 5 years, along with the other departments, and put down a proposal that, apart from the reservoirs that we've created in all the villages that we are doing, can we have a rainwater harvesting storage system for every house? Now, every house requires 1 lakh liters of water a year. Now, if that 1 lakh liter of water a year, even if a 50,000 liter tank can be created in every house in the state, that means we are ensuring that we are taking care of our water problems to a large extent. Now, if MG and REGA, which has a budget of 1,500 crores, along with all the other departments that are working, can we, in the next 5 years, make sure that apart from reservoirs, we will also have rainwater harvesting tanks in every house in the 6 lakh plus houses that we have throughout the state. I think it's doable. It's not a tough task, but I think it will go a long way in ensuring we conserve water and we are able to use and manage water in the best possible way. Can we also look at the next 5 years and say that all the government departments will now phase out and come into electric vehicles? Why can't we decide that and go forward with it and get electric vehicles? Because it has multiple advantages, we all know it. And obviously, in the long run, it's good for the environment. Can we decide that next 5 years we are going to, Government of India has said 2030. Well, let's do it in Meghalaya in 5 years, that at least government departments and even the people, even the public transportation, can we shift in the next 5 years to electric vehicles? And if we have a target and a mission-based program, it's only then can things work. So therefore, I'm giving that mission and the target that we need to move forward in this. Can we make a mission and a target and say that we will get rid of all kind of plastic products that are there, or minimize it to the minimum level in the next 5 years to only the basic ones that's required, and obviously the one-time use plastic and all the other forms of plastic which are not necessary and we have alternative for it available. In the next 5 years, can we phase them out? Can we ensure that in a stepwise manner, we should become one of the few states in the country where we say no to plastic completely? Can we, as individuals, tell ourselves that in the next 5 years as we go along, you as a citizen, after you have mapped your carbon footprints, can you make a resolution to yourself that you will reduce your carbon emissions by 10% every year? Can every citizen map his or her carbon footprints and work towards finding out where and how you can reduce your carbon footprints by 10% every year? I think these are basic things that can be done. You know, I was just sitting with one of our officials in my vehicle, and I was telling him that, you know, I was looking at some pictures of some villages, and I saw some children, because the stream level went up, you know, the children were crossing that river in their school uniform with their bags on their head and the shoes in their hand. And I just looked at that picture and just struck me, you know, we've seen it so many times, but I don't know, that moment was different for me. And I realized that even after 50 years, there are villages that don't have this connectivity, that even a small suspension bridge is not available in those. So we're in Shillong. Shillong is more or less fine, but a lot of rural areas don't have that. So I was telling him that, you know, within this week, I'm just sharing with you in this platform because I'm speaking a lot about so many things. But within this week, I plan to finalize a program where in the next 3 years to maximum 5 years, starting this year itself, that we want to ensure that every area and village that requires the suspension bridges, we will start with 100, 150 of them this year. Even if an investment of 150 crores or 200 crores to ensure that suspension bridges are put in different villages to give the basic connectivity to people, I think is not at all, you know, anything that we should think even twice about. And if MGNREGA and other programs, we can have a convergence going in, the mission being to connect these villages, allow the children access, allow the farmers access, allow them to be able to at least cross over the, you know, the river in a proper, decent manner. I think it's not a big deal. So I think these are few thoughts that I wanted to share with you. And as a government, as I said, coming back to the first point that I mentioned, that we are really looking at a large number of programs and works, and we are not focusing on them in terms of implementing them well. We are looking at them in terms of achieving our goal and our target. But while we try to do that, obviously we need to make sure that we are implementing it well. You must have seen the project for Meghalaya. In 2018, when we took over the government, IFAD had come to us and they had said they're going to close down the Meghalaya project because the implementation was not going as per their requirements, and they were not happy with the performance, and they told us that they're going to close the Meghalaya project. I requested the IFAD, people, give us 6 months, we will change things, and then you decide. And I'm happy to inform you that in 6 months, we transformed the project, and today, instead of closing it, the IFAD has agreed to give extension of another 2 years because they are so happy with the work. And not only have they given extension of 2 years, they have given an additional 150 crores to Meghalaya government to carry on the project, which at 2018 was at the brink of being closed down. And the reason why this happened is because the team worked well. It happened well because we allowed the team to work. It happened well because there was a mission, there was a goal, there was a passion that was driving everybody. And we made things happen. And that's the result of things that are being seen. And that's how we need to move forward. And I really hope that as we move along, things will be very challenging for us. We need to look at environmental aspects in a very different manner. Agriculture. We need to adapt. Climate change is happening. The products that we used to grow will not grow anymore, or they will yield lesser produce. The yield will be lesser. Therefore, we need to find ways in which how we will adapt to the changing environment so that our agriculture and our farmers are not affected. The designs of our buildings will have to change. You all know that in the next 5 years, we will be shifting out the secretariat from here. And I assure you that we will ensure that the new secretariat comes up. And we will also ensure that this new secretariat, when it comes up, it should be a modern design which is environmentally friendly. And I was just sharing with somebody that in offices, well, normal people work from 10 to 5. There are some abnormal people like us who go until 9, 10 in the night also. But normal, the 80%, 90% of the people work till about 5 o'clock. And that's when the sun is there. So why should we have buildings that are fully closed and have just 1 or 2 small windows? So the new designs will have to be buildings which look at all these aspects and allow the natural lighting to come in. Our new secretariat, our new government offices need to adapt to these designs. Urban Affairs needs to look into those aspects and ensure that these kind of adaptations take place in the future. So therefore, these are the ways that we will move forward. But I can assure you that with the kind of participation that we are seeing today, with the kind of awards that have been given to different VECs, there is a lot of hope. There's a lot of hope because the community is involved. There is a lot of hope because the youth is involved. And I strongly feel that if we all put our hearts and minds together on what we are doing, and we are doing things in the right way, may not be enough. We need to do more, but it is in the right direction. And if we continue to do this, I'm sure that we will be a shining example, not just for the country, but for the world, to show that what the Chief Secretary had mentioned, that we are a state and a people that have always believed in our environment, in our forest, in maintaining our heritage and ensuring that the entire ecosystem and environment is part of our lives, not just because it's part of our culture, but also because we as a society are dependent on it. I'm sure that we will be a shining example of how we can balance the ecos. And when I say balance of ecos, I mean the ecology and the economy. And that is really where the challenge lies. How do you balance the ecology along with the economy? And as mentioned, payment for ecosystem services is one of the really great examples to show a balance between the ecosystem, the ecology and the economy. And I hope that in the coming days, Meghalaya will shine and Meghalaya will be giving an example of how we can balance both the economy and ecology and ensure that we preserve our environment for the future generation of our state and of the world. So with these few words, I once again congratulate the entire team that has worked very hard for this entire week to really make this week a success. But as many of you would agree, that it should not stop today. This is where it begins, or rather this is the continuation of the process which started 4 years back. we continue it. This 1 week was not a program, but it was a celebration of what we have done in the last 4 years. And it's also a kind of an instigation for us to continue what we had started in the coming years. So with these few words, once again, I wish you all the very best. And thank you once again for this program, and many, many congratulations to all the organizers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. As we come to the end of the program today, I would now like to invite the Additional Project Director of Community-Led Landscape Management Project to deliver the vote of thanks.
I deem it a great honor and privilege to get this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. First and foremost, on behalf of MBDA and MBMA, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the Honorable Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Dr. Conrad K. Sangma, for consenting to be the chief guest for the celebration of World Environment Day as part of the Meghalaya Environment Week 2022. Thank you, sir, for sparing your valuable time and for leading the way for the people of Meghalaya for restoring the environment in Meghalaya, amongst others, to planting of seedling today, both at Diang Paso and now in the premises of SOSO Auditorium. Thank you, sir, also for sharing your valuable insights and also for taking the very bold step of scaling the PS program to the entire state. I would also like to express my gratitude to the Honorable Minister of Forest and Environment, Shri James P.K. Sangma, for sharing his perspective insights. Thank you, sir, for your valuable words of encouragement to all of us out here, and especially for consenting to be the chief guest in many functions during the week-long celebrations and enthusing our rural communities on the various technologies and methods of restoring our natural resources. Also, I would like to express my gratitude to Srimati R.V. Sucheng, Madam, Chief Secretary to the Government of Meghalaya, for always supporting us and for delivering that wonderful and encouraging speech, taking the examples of movies. I am most thankful to Shri Sampath Kumar, Principal Secretary and also Development Commissioner, and also Dr. S. Ashutosh, for your constant guidance and leadership, especially in spearheading the week-long Meghalaya Environment Week and today's program, and setting the context for today's program. Special thanks goes to all the government officials of various departments like Forest and Environment Department, Soil Water Conservation Department, CNRD Department, Agriculture, also District Administration, who also did the Environment Day function at the district level, various agencies, NGOs, community leaders, who are part of this week-long celebration. However, due to the paucity of time, we cannot name each one individually. Your contribution towards all the function and events for the entire week is highly appreciated. However, my deepest gratitude goes to the rural communities, students and other attendants who have come from far and wide, all the way from your respective villages across Meghalaya to be part of this occasion and making it success. Gratitude goes to all the artists and performers who has made this day memorable and enjoyable at the same time. I would also like to thank the Office of Superintendent of Police for ensuring security in today's program. Appreciation goes to various media agencies for their kind presence and for the coverage of today's function. Last but not the least, I would like to acknowledge my deepest gratitude to the MBDA, MBMA, MINR teams from both the SPMU and DPMUs. Your tireless efforts to make this function grand and meaningful is most commendable. In case I left or forgot anyone or any office, kindly accept this as my gratitude on behalf of MBDA and MBMA. Thank you all. Kublai Mitela.
So this brings us to the end of today's celebration. However, before we move out of the hall to enjoy the stalls that are set up outside, I would just like to bring to everyone's notice that Shri Nababratna Bhattacharjee, Chairman of the State Expert Appraisal Committee and expat member of Meghalaya State Planning Board, would like to present his book titled Withering Forests, Ongoing Rivers to our guests for the day today. It is a book, a call for collective action to preserve, protect, and rejuvenate our forest covers, water bodies, and natural resources. There are stalls set up by the eco clubs under SCSTE and Jinkinjiri cooperatives set up outside. You may join, you may go and enjoy the various items set up there. Thank you all for coming to the World Environment Day celebration 2022.